What's up everybody, I'm Pony Lawson and I'm here to critique your tattoos. You know the drill. What's up everybody? Today we've got a fresh batch of collector tattoos we're gonna get through. I'm excited to see what we've got, but I want to remind you to stick around to the very end of the video where we talk about my favorite tattoo as well as my least favorite tattoo, or as you know I like to call it, the toilet tattoo! So let's see what we've got first. Christopher G sent in this Joaquin Phoenix Joker tattoo. Right off the bat, I think this is a home run. It's a solid tattoo. The shading throughout the entire thing is super smooth. Even the way that the artist managed to merge both reference images together is almost seamless. You know, the makeup kind of blends off around his mouth pretty nice. It doesn't seem like two parts of the face were mismatched. Now that I say that, I feel like the Joker's part of the eye is just a hair higher than the other eye. But yeah, for the most part, this is all pretty well matched together. The hair looks superb. I love the little strands of hair that are coming down in front of his forehead. It's very well shaded. And if you see here, these V's are exactly what I was talking about in a previous episode. So this artist knew exactly what they were doing. Almost all hair ends up either starting or ending as a V shape. And you can break down every single V in this hair. Every single shade goes into a V, either at the beginning or the end. Even the little strands of hair behind the head are using a little bit of negative space. Those little strands behind him look really good. The little glare in his nose is cool. The textures in his neck, the textures in his lip. It's got, you know, great contrast in texture. And like I said before, the shading is just very, very smooth. So if you look down here at the philtrum under his nose, yes, that's what it's called. Go look it up, nerds. You'll notice that it's a little bit dark on the Joker side, so I think maybe the darker part of that was from the Joker reference, but together it just doesn't work as well as it should. Maybe I would have lightened up that little shadow or something like that. But again, I'm kind of nitpicking here because I love this tattoo overall. I'm just kind of pointing out things that maybe I would have done differently if I were to have done this. I love the glare in the Joker side of the eye. I think that thing is beautiful. You know, it's got like two little pieces of white reflection. Excellent work by the artist. I bet you're super stoked to be wearing that. Thanks for sending that in, Christopher. Next up, we have Michael Russo, who sent in this sweet green Power Ranger tattoo that's...
Come on, man.
Okay, so next up we have Michael Russo, who sent in this Green Lantern tattoo. It's Morphin time! And you sent in a healed photo as well, so I kind of can, you know, critique the healed one. Colors right away, very bright and vivid, and I don't know a whole lot about the Green Lantern, but I know the greens that were used in that series are very bright and vivid, and I feel like the artist nailed that on this one, and it healed really, really well.
I like how Pony's like, I don't know much about the Green Lantern, but I know he's green.
My assumption is that this is supposed to be a watercolor style tattoo, but honestly it does look like it's like slime or something like that that's kind of coming out of the center of this logo. So if you are going for the watercolor effect, I don't think they quite pulled this off, like I said, because it kind of does look like ooze from the Ninja Turtles or something like that. I do like the way that the artist tattooed the lantern itself, the little black lines. I feel like that gives it more of a watercolor feel than the color, to be honest. And especially because it's the Green Lantern, and as far as I know, the Green Lantern is known for having some sort of like light coming out of his lantern. It's just not reading that way, so it's kind of caught in the middle somewhere in between like slime, light, and watercolor. Pretty sure this lantern has a cold. I think the artist just needed to make more watery shapes or like drops or drips and things like that, kind of how you have at the bottom to make it feel that way. But overall, as far as like appearance goes and looks, it looks great and it looks like it healed well. Thank you, Michael, for sending that in. Next up, we have some cowboy boots from Tempie Holden. And this is a memorial for Tempie's father who passed away in December. And I'm sorry to hear about that, Tempie. I'm trying to find bad things to say about these tattoos, but today it just seems like y'all have sent in some good ones. But let's break down this tattoo a little further. The outlines in this thing are exceptional. The nice bold outlines that you have throughout this entire thing are great. They complement very well with the smaller lines that are running through the boots. Again, the artist kind of really knows what they're doing as far as line weight and control goes. The little dots that you have on top of the boot are excellent, and throughout the little stitching and things like that, the small details that you have are really excellent. The name is legible and clean. I can tell exactly what it says, and it looks like that white's gonna hold up over time as well. It doesn't look like it was kind of haphazardly put in. It looks like it was placed very well in there and nice, bold, and strong. So I don't see you having an issue with that fading away very soon. The shading is spot on, right where it needs to be. It's nice and smooth, you know, it's not overdone. Yeah. Excellent work. Thanks for sending that in, Tempie. So next up, we've got a nice skull and beard sent in by Mitch Runner. Is this Eddie from Iron Maiden's uncle, Teddy? Mitch, right away, I can tell you that this isn't necessarily my style of tattoo that I would like to rock, but you know, the one thing I can say is that it is consistent throughout the entire tattoo. It has that almost like scratchy feel to it, that scratchy style, which again isn't necessarily something that I would rock, but it is its own style, you know. It does kind of seem like the skull has a comb over at the top, which is cute, but you know, it's there's a few things that kind of get a little lost or a little messy, you know. It's hair where it comes into the teeth. I can, for the most part, tell where the teeth are, but since it's all the same style, it's just hard to tell where the teeth end and the hair starts. And again, there's not a whole lot to say about this because it's just one consistent style throughout the entire thing. It's not like I'm looking for very clean lines in this thing or solid shading, because it's just not there. The lines are meant to look scratchy, and that's what they are. It just kind of reminds me of one of those metal tattoos, you know, that you'd like draw in high school in your notebook or something like that. But rock on, Mitch. Next up, we've got Calum with this pretty sweet, what looks to be like a cyborg, or like an Asian cyborg of some sort. And I only say Asian because there's this dragon that's kind of sweeping throughout the entire piece. Right away, I love this entire tattoo. Kind of jealous it's not on me, to be honest. The contrast between the black shading in the face and the white shading or skin tone in the mask is just on point. I love the simple shades that are throughout this, the little moon in the background, the jewelry that the character is wearing, and the almost white like eyelashes and the white eyeballs as well are nice little accents throughout this piece. The little bit of what looks to be like beads or something like that running behind the mask, I also love a lot. And these little diamond shapes running to the left side of this face as well, I like a lot. There's a lot I like, is what I'm trying to say. I like it a lot. I don't even know if there's any little thing that I would suggest that the artist did, because I'm completely content and happy with the way everything is done here. So, I'm gonna leave it at that. Thanks for sending that in, much appreciated. Steffen sent us in this Eddie from Iron Maiden tattoo that's pretty sweet. Wait a minute, so what are the chances that we actually open up an Eddie tattoo? That's hilarious. It looks like he's meant to be Jesus of some sort with a crown of thorns. And he also sent in a healed photo as well. So this is a nice opportunity for me to kind of talk about the way tattoos heal. But first I want to talk about the fresh tattoo and how everything looks and kind of give you my opinion on that. Right away, I love the contrast running throughout this entire tattoo. The nice bright whites you have along the nice darks and, you know, textures that you have running through this as well. I like the saliva in the mouth and the actual, I think it looks like opaque grays running through the eyes. And by that I mean it looks like the artist actually added a little bit of white to the black ink to make these eyes look more gray than gray wash. It's nice that you sent in a healed photo as well, so I can kind of discuss the way the tattoos heal and the way the inks break down, etc. As you can tell by looking at this healed tattoo, that a lot of the solid 100% blacks didn't stay, and that could have been because of the artist didn't use 100% black. I know a lot of times, myself included, you know, in our first couple years that we were thinking we were using a dark color, but even if the black is 70% black and it looks dark, when it goes on fresh, it still has some healing to do. So chances are that's gonna heal up a lot and you're gonna end up with like a 50% black, and it's not gonna look solid black anymore. You have to use solid black if you want them to heal solid black. All black and white tattoos are gonna heal a little bit lighter. That's just how they heal. And this is a prime example of that. I'm not bashing that at all. I'm just kind of pointing out that the blacks didn't heal as black as they should have. This is something that can be improved upon by the artist if you were to go back in there and kind of just have them add some more blacks into that. You know, it's only gonna get darker from there. I would like to see a little bit more solid blacks behind him in the crown of thorns, around the ear and things like that, and also in the mouth and around the eyes. But one more pass on this thing would do you well. The artwork is great. I just think you could use a little bit of loving on some of those darker shades. So very cool. Thanks, Steffen, for sending in Eddie to hang out with his Uncle Teddy today. So that's gonna do it for all of our critiques today, but before we go, we're gonna talk about my favorite tattoo as well as my least favorite tattoo, or as I like to call it,
the toilet tattoo.
So this week's winner was sent in by Calum. Calum sent in this sweet, like, cyborg, Asian style character. For many reasons, I picked it as this week's winner. For the artistry, for the originality, and for the execution. As far as the technical ability goes, this tattoo's got it all. I would definitely be very happy to wear this tattoo, and for that reason alone, I feel like it deserves this week's winner. And this week's toilet tattoo was sent in by Mitch Runner. Mitch, I'm sorry, but this is just one tattoo that I would not like to wear myself. not so good. It's just not my style. When we put this one up against all the rest of the tattoos we've seen this week, I just feel like it falls short from all the rest. So as long as you love it, that's all that matters. So that does it for this week's critiques. I want to thank everybody again for watching and for sending in your tattoos. And again, if you haven't sent them in, you can send them to ponycritiques@gmail.com. And hopefully we'll see them on a future episode. But for now, make sure you subscribe, like, share with your friends, and hit that notification bell so you can be notified when our next video goes up. Thanks again, and I'll see y'all next week.